Hello and welcome to this Ingram Microcloud webinar where we're going to be taking a look at the power of the Power Platform. We're going to be taking a look into Power Apps, Power BI, Power Automate and Power Virtual Agents. The Power Platform is being adopted more and more each day, and you'll be astonished when you hear some of the usage figures that Microsoft are currently seeing. So there really is a massive opportunity here. We're going to be taking a look at actually what is the Power Platform, including taking a look at the data connectors, AI Builder, and the Common Data Service, or Data Flex Pro, as of Inspire. As well as this, we're going to be taking a look at some different case studies for the Power Platform and some incredible success stories, as well as some great demos by our very own Ed Smith, our Dynamics 365 solutions architect, who is getting well and truly stuck into the Power Platform, as well as looking at the integration possibilities with Dynamics 365. I'm also going to show you how you can get started with the Power Platform and take advantage of the incredible opportunity that you have in front of you. So that's enough of an intro for now, so let's get stuck into the Power Platform. Microsoft applications can be summed up very simple. They're powerful alone, but better together. We often hear better together as a term used for Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365, but bringing in the Power Platform, you really are going to be able to build end-to-end business solutions to match any organization on the planet. What I want to do on this first slide really is just look at what is actually the Power Platform. You've already kind of heard me mention, what the Power Platform consists of, but quite simply put, it's these four components. So you've got Power Apps, you have Power Automate, although I bet some of you out there still call it Flow. You've also got Power BI, and then last but by no means least, you've got Power Virtual Agents, which is the newest edition of the Power family. What I'm going to do is just have a look at the different benefits of these solutions, because they really are incredible, and how easy they are to use as well, enabling everyday developers, or you may have heard the term citizen developers, create incredible applications to add really great value to an organization. So the first one we're going to look at is Power Apps. So enable an organization to get started quickly. Empower your team to start building and launching apps right away using pre-built templates, drag and drop simplicity, and quick deployment. And then you can roll out continuous improvements as needed. It allows you to build apps without compromise. So give everyone the power to build the apps that they need with advanced functionality previously only available to professional developers, including pre-built AI components. I've seen some great examples of organizations, people in their own organization, building applications because they're doing a job and thinking there's got to be a quicker way of doing this. It's got to be a simpler way. And actually then building the application, and then now that's live in the organization. That's something that they use on a daily basis. And it's great to see those kind of success stories. Enable extensibility for developers. Provide professional developers the tools to seamlessly extend app capabilities with Visual Functions and custom connectors. And as we move on to Power Automate, it's really all about boosting productivity. Build time-saving workflows into everything, from individual tasks to large-scale systems, with seamless integration using hundreds of pre-built connectors. Quickly and securely automate at scale. Enable everyone to build secure workflows with no code, guided experience, and cloud-based data loss prevention, identity, and access management services. Put intelligent workflows to work. Automate time-consuming manual tasks with built-in AI capabilities. Give you more time to focus on strategic and high-value opportunities. And then as we look into Power BI, get self-service analytics at enterprise scale, reduce the added cost, complexity, and security risks of multiple solutions with an analytics platform that scales from individuals to the organization as a whole. Use smart tools for strong results. Find and share meaningful insights with hundreds of data visualizations, built-in AI capabilities, tight Excel integration, and pre-built and custom data connectors. Help protect your analytics, gain leading sensitivity, classification, and data loss prevention capabilities to help keep your data secure and compliant, even when it's exported from Power BI. And with Power Virtual Agents, you can easily create your own virtual agent, create powerful chatbots without the need for developers or data scientists by using a guided no-code graphical interface. Again, very much great drag and drop functionality when building a Power Virtual Agent chatbot. Empower virtual agents to take action, integrate Power Virtual Agents with the products and services that you use every day using hundreds of pre-built connectors. By building custom workflows using Power Automate or creating complex scenarios with Microsoft Bot Framework. And again, you can measure the performance of the bot. It's almost like having another employee. You can monitor and continuously improve that chatbot performance using AI and data-driven insights available in an easy-to-read dashboard. We're going to be delving into each of these in more detail shortly, but straight away you can see the great value that each of these bring to an organization. And just by providing these solutions to your customer base, you can be the enabler to get there on their power journey. So the opportunity is massive. A few key statistics to really help you see the massive opportunity that you see in front of you as cloud resellers. What I will say, a lot of these statistics came out kind of before the end of last FY. So these numbers are probably already out of date. That is how fast the Power Platform is growing. But just to give you an idea of some numbers, today we have over 2.5 million citizen developers using the Power Platform. Microsoft trends show that by 2023, there will be about 500 million applications built by citizen developers. So that is just built by everyday people, someone like me doing a job that I do day in, day out and thinking there's got to be a quicker way at doing this. And I'll build an application to make it a quicker way, maybe integrate it with Teams, an everyday application that I use, but make it quicker, make it better. These aren't people that have done degrees and fully qualified developers. These are everyday developers or citizen developers, whichever terminology you use. And then what's in it for the end organization? Using the Power Platform, it's seeing an increasing return on investment for organizations of 362%. Organizations using the Power Platform has led organizations to see reduced development costs of 70%. And on average, business processes increase by 20% when an organization begins to use the Power Platform. Your customers are looking for solutions to their problems. The answer is the Power Platform, but without you as the partner, you really, you need to give them the right answer. It really is a different conversation to a standard tech conversation. It's understanding your customer's business. It's understanding their needs, their requirements. It really is a lot like a Dynamics 365 conversation, and then taking it further. It's understanding, what's the pain points in a business. What's maybe making them reduce productivity. Potentially they're not converting well on sales. Potentially they've got a customer loyalty problem. All these different kind of conversations, understanding their business problems, and then really understanding their wish list. If you could have anything, what would it be? And understanding, is the answer within the Microsoft stack? Is it Dynamics 365, but with maybe built-in Power Virtual Agents to handle some customer service queries? Who knows what those answers are? You have to go out and speak to your customers to find out what their problems are before we can go down a technology conversation. We want to make sure, and I'm sure you do, you want to make sure you're providing your customers with the right technology. So you need to understand what their problems are and then let the technology be the right answer. Within the Power Platform, it's not just the solutions that sit across the top there in Powerapps, Power Automate, Power BI, and Power Virtual Agents. As well as those, you have the data connectors, you have AI Builder, and the Common Data Service. So we're going to look at what these are. And also you may know that the Common Data Service recently, we're still in that name change process, I believe. So I didn't want to change the name just now, but to DataFlex Pro. So you'll start to see that coming in more on maybe presentations and just in Microsoft documentation and things like that. But for this presentation, I feel like Common Data Service is more well known. There are currently hundreds of public connectors that can be used by all organizations. Examples of public connectors are Office 365, Common Data Service, Twitter, Dropbox, and there's so many more. Custom connectors are defined in the context of an environment and are only available to apps and flows within that environment. Connectors make triggers and actions available that can be used by the apps and flows. Triggers are used by flow or logic apps to start the execution of the workflow. Actions are used by apps and flows to perform a defined set of actions during execution. AI Builder is the new Power Platform capability for teams with the business expertise to easily automate processes and predict outcomes to improve business performance. AI Builder is a turnkey solution that brings the power of Microsoft AI through a point-and-click experience and is directly integrated into Powerapps and Power Automate. And the Common Data Service lets you securely store and manage data that's used by business applications. Data within the Common Data Service is stored within a set of entities. An entity is a set of records used to store data, similar to how a table stores data within a database. Common Data Service includes a base set of standard entities that cover typical scenarios, but you can also create custom entities specific to your organization and populate them with data using Power Query. App makers can then use Powerapps to build rich applications using this data. What we're going to do now is kind of go round the circle that you can see there on the right hand side, and we're going to start off with Powerapps. We're going to delve into each of these components of the Power Platform in a bit more detail, really help you get started, really help you see the value of each of these, and hopefully you can take these to your customers and have conversations with them about, the opportunity. What I'm going to do though to start with Powerapps, there's been a lot of development happening, with the whole pandemic that's going on, and people going back to work. The Power Platform's really coming into its own in this situation, as well as that, Dynamics 365 as well, with solutions being built specific to maybe organizations going back to work, for example. So I've got a quick demo video that Microsoft have released to really highlight how quickly you can develop something using the Power Platform to really enable businesses, even through hard times, for example.
Returning to the workplace during a pandemic. It's a scenario very few of us have faced, until now. The Microsoft Power Platform empowers safe reopening with the Return to the Workplace solution. Supported by Powerapps, Power BI, and Power Automate, this low-code solution is designed for everyone. Location readiness allows leaders and task forces to quickly make informed decisions using criteria like infection rates and supplies availability. Employee health and safety management empower employees to check in remotely and self-screen before entering. Workplace care management provides health and safety leaders tools to identify potential infections, manage cases to ensure care and quarantine, and notify exposed individuals. And location management help facility managers monitor occupancy, health supplies, safety procedures, and other facility-related best practices. We all want to get back to work and back together safely. Learn how Power Platform can help you return to the workplace with confidence.
I just wanted to give some tips really on actually getting started in the Power Platform. So once you're in, it's great and it feels very similar, even if it's your first time using it. The best way I've heard it described, it's almost like a hybrid of Excel and PowerPoint brought together, which makes it really easy to get moving with and really easy to start using. You can get started in seconds. There's no infrastructure to maintain or complex systems to deploy. You can even sign up for a free trial. and start building your Power Apps. So each of these solutions, and I'm going to repeat this time and time again during this webinar, I really want this to sink in. You can get a 30-day free trial by simply logging in, and it's definitely worth doing. You will 100% see the value of this, and you'll start thinking of your customers. You'll start thinking about how you can help them. You can even build apps from sample apps, templates, or just start from a blank screen. All the apps that you've built appear here in the screenshot that you can see below all the text, along with any apps that others have created and then shared with you as well. As you can see in the screenshot, the landing page makes it easy for you to find what you need right from there. So really great navigation throughout the whole Power Platform. Whether you want to build an app from blank, build a portal from blank, or maybe you're just going to start off with some Excel data, you can start from anywhere that suits you and then just start building your app. And Powerapps Studio is where you can fully develop your apps to make them more effective as a business tool and to make them more attractive as well. Powerapps Studio has 3 panes that make creating apps seem more like building a slide deck in Microsoft PowerPoint. Powerapps works with other technologies to help you build powerful apps for your organization. Some of these technologies include data sources. So without data, you don't have a business. Data sources bring cloud and on-premise data into your apps, and then you can access the data through built-in connections, custom connectors, and gateways. Common Data Service, a compliant and scalable data service that's integrated into Powerapps. We've also got Power Automate, allows you to build automated workflows to receive notifications, run processes, collect data, and so much more, really. In Powerapps, most Canvas apps use external information that is stored in data sources. A common example is a table in an Excel file that is stored in OneDrive for Business or SharePoint. Apps access these data sources by using connections. Some connections allow Powerapps to read and write stored data. In Powerapps, you can add many data sources to your apps through built-in or custom connectors. Connectors such as Excel, Common Data Service, Outlook, OneDrive, and there are many more, well over 300 more of these connectors to get data into your application. And as you can see in the screenshot here, it really does make it easy to build an app with no coding or low coding, meaning your customers will have people in their business that would love to do this and become citizen developers. This isn't just about you as cloud providers or technology providers going out and building applications for your customers. There are going to be people within your customers' businesses. They're going to love to get their hands on this. I think the way in which I would compare even when we say low coding, I'd compare it to an Excel formula. And by that, anyone that knows me knows I'm a bit of an Excel geek. And, if someone needs something doing on Excel, it normally gets sent my way. And then, I love doing stuff with formulas and making things look pretty and everything like that. And I learned that through just going on YouTube and maybe searching on Google for answers. If I was doing something and it seemed to be taking ages, just have a search, and there was always a quicker way in Excel. There was a formula or a shortcut or something. And I learned that just through, as I say, YouTube and searching on the internet for the answer. And I think with Powerapps, it's very similar. There's some incredible videos that you should really go and watch on YouTube, just by simply searching for Powerapps. You'll find people that have built apps in 10 minutes for quick demos. You'll find some longer demos as well, hour-long videos. Also, the hashtag Power Addicts on LinkedIn, Twitter, you're going to find some great content as well. The Power Addicts really are Power Addicts, and they're very good at what they do. So it's very good to watch others do what they've done and then kind of replicate that with your own applications. Powerapps Mobile for Windows, iOS, and Android devices allows you to use all the apps that you've created and those others that have been shared with you as well, all on your mobile device. When users log in with their credentials, they will see all the apps that have been shared with them or that they've built themselves. And when you use Powerapps Mobile, you can get the most out of your device's capabilities, so camera controls, GPS location, and other things as well. Using Powerapps, whether remote working, out on the road, working from home, or in the office, to do so, you can really enable your workforce to achieve so much more be more productive and really give them the tools to succeed. I used to do a job where I'd have to go to offices and kind of check in when I got there. And the solution we had to check in with meant that for the first kind of 20, 30 minutes of my time on site with a company, I was basically checking in that I was there. And then we had the idea of, well, why don't we just have a Power App with built-in GPS, and you basically just have a drop down to say here, and then when you're leaving, you leave, and you do it like that very quickly. You do it with your phone. You could do it while you're walking into the office, and even something like that gives me back 25, 30 minutes of my day to actually do my job. So some really powerful stuff that you can do, and hopefully your mind's already thinking maybe there's some tasks that you do or some of your companies that you work with have mentioned that they do that are very time consuming. Is there a Power App that can speed it up for them? Probably.
My name is Lauren Taylor. I am the assistant principal at Manitou Park Elementary in Tacoma, Washington. It's in the Tacoma Public School System. We have about 500 students at our school, pre-K through 5th grade. The problem that I was trying to solve with Powerapps was really trying to visualize reading data in a way that was immediate and automatic for my teachers and for myself. To solve the problem, I stumbled on Powerapps, and I was able to create an app where teachers would be able to go in. They'd be able to not only input the student name and the reading level, but also all of the other diagnostic needs that they found for each of the students right in there. And then this would speak to a Power BI dashboard, so we could then visualize that data.
I am using this Power App in many different ways. My favorite way is working with a coworker who is co-teaching in my classroom. So we're sharing kids. We are double dosing these kids. So we're seeing them twice a day, and we want to make sure that we have new ideas for them, but the same main topic to be working on with different books.
So I would like to know, what is the book you read today?
The Cat and the Bird.
Teachers use the app in a couple of ways. So one is that it lives on our building teams, and anytime a teacher opens up the app, there'll be a list of students there, or they have the option to input another student. Then what they would do is input all of the student data, meaning their reading needs, their reading levels, and any notes that they feel are relevant to themselves or anyone else who might be reading with that student. And then what happens is Flow takes that information and then populates that on a Power BI, where they can go in, they can sort all of that information and create reading groups in just a couple of clicks.
I'm working with 4 different reading groups, and I'm cycling through books, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, did I already read this book with this group? And they really love it when I can go back in that Power App and remember which books I read with them as I keep pushing them forward in their reading skills.
My job title is assistant principal. My job title is not app developer, IT manager, coder. I really don't know anything about coding other than what I have learned from the Power Platform community and the Power Addicts.
Lauren has been a principal now going on 2 years, and I can tell you, up until she learned more about Power Apps, she used to come home and she just looked tired, beat, because, a lot of times principals are trying to, solve problems. Power Apps gave her the ability to find solutions for a lot of those problems. So although, she's coming home and she's working, she's very passionate and she's found excitement in this job.
My hope with more educators building their own apps is that we're able to spend more of our time in front of students teaching and more students being able to learn, because everything is either efficient or automatic, or we're creating or the students are creating. And when we're in that space where everyone is creating, that's really that highest level of learning.
Whenever we implement Dynamics 365 applications, be that Business Central, Sales Professional, or Human Resources, for instance, we are, of course, always looking to match the majority of a customer's processes and requirements with the standard application software, because that means we have less configuration, less customization, and a greater opportunity for a successful, rapid deployment. Where there are processes, though, that add value to an organization but don't naturally sit within the core, then that's where we can start to look at the Dynamics Power Platform. And the subject of today's presentation is a very short presentation as an introduction to Powerapps. Powerapps is a low-code or no-code development tool. What that really means is you don't need to be an IT professional to generate your own applications. Using the tool set that Powerapps gives you, we can look at data capture, multiple data sources. We can look at mobile applications that run on mobile phones, tablets, as well as laptops. The kind of development that was always the reserve of developers and business analysts and software houses, with all of the costs that would come with that. We're now putting that power with end users, with resellers, so that we can add value to the core implementation of Dynamics 365. Before I take a look at the product, just want to use this single slide about the ecosystem just for a little bit of positioning. I mentioned Business Central a few seconds ago, and that sits in this application layer that's highlighted in green across the top. The applications are quite granular and they sit on the common data service. And what that means is we can share data between different applications. Because we're sharing, we can access that through Powerapps, and we can start to look at data storage and different utilities. So things like Excel as a data store, it doesn't have to be inward looking into the application in Dynamics 365. And indeed, we can look outwards using pre-configured connectors to third-party applications. And if a connector doesn't exist to one of those applications, we've got the opportunity within Powerapps to generate that custom connection. Where we used to talk about APIs for application program interface, this is a simple way of generating that kind of integration, all sat on Azure, of course. So it's secure, it's highly available, with data protection and compliance with local legislation. In order to generate an example in just a few minutes, I took a real-life scenario, and this is capturing customer satisfaction in a tile shop. I hope this is a scenario that people are familiar with, going into a tile shop or a hardware store. We've got a project in mind, DIY at home. We want great advice from a sales associate, and we want to make sure that we've got all the accessories, the tools to deliver the perfect project at home. In order to capture that, I'm looking to capture Net Promoter Score. So this is customer satisfaction on a sliding scale from 0 to 10. 0, I'm terribly unhappy. 10, I'm super happy. What kind of comments can we get? For the selling organization, they'd like to know who did a great job. So which of their sales associates worked with which of their customers. If we can capture the project location and the product range, then if we're getting customer complaints, we can start to identify, is it a training opportunity for the sales associate? Have we got a challenge with the products that we're supplying? And one of the key factors that leads to the downfall of a DIY project is we didn't calculate the accessories correctly, as well as the square meterage of tiles. Did we get enough adhesive and grout on? Have we got spacers and tile cutters? All of the things that ruin your entire weekend when you're trying to do a DIY project. So that's the example, perhaps a little bit contrived to do it in this way, but I hope useful for the sake of today's demonstration. I'll just close the spreadsheet down because I'm going to jump into Powerapps. And when we generate a Power App, we can start from a Canvas app, which is great if you've got a little bit more experience and you're starting with a blank piece of paper. We can start with model-driven applications. And one of the great things that's absolutely out of the box with Power Apps are these templates, these examples. So lots of commonly requested processes like leave requests and expenses. Rather than starting from scratch and starting to design your own internal process, why not take this, use it as a framework? It probably does 85 to 90% of what you want it to do absolutely out of the box. So use a framework and customize it or modify it just that little bit to suit your organization. To show you how quickly we can generate an application, I'm going to take the table that sat within that spreadsheet and generate an application that will run on a mobile phone in real time in minutes. So I'm just going to point at my table, and effectively all I'm doing here is saying to Powerapps, go look at my data source, try and interpret it, and figure out how you can present that back to me in a usable format. In real time, I've chosen the layout to be for a mobile phone. We can change the way that operates, but as the fastest working example, we'll take a mobile phone layout. Didn't count the number of seconds it's taken to do that. Whilst I've been speaking, it's probably only a minute or two. And Powerapps has generated a format of layout that suits how it's interpreted that data store to give me key data and all of the rows and all of the fields. At this stage, we're still in development mode. If you look down the left-hand side, you can see I've got a browse screen, a details screen. I would say at this stage, it doesn't really look like a thing of beauty, but bear in mind, we've put absolutely zero effort into generating this at this stage. If I just play that app, we can do this to preview as we go through development. I can scroll up and down on my screen, so that will be limited to the size of my mobile phone screen. If I want to change the sort sequence of my data, I can do. And if I want to search, I noticed there were a couple of comments in the data about awesome. So Kaz has obviously been delivering an awesome service to our customers. And if I want to see the detail that sits behind that, again, it's not terribly pretty at this stage, but I've got key data elements that Powerapps has already generated with a screen layout. And if I choose to edit that, now it starts to look a little bit more professional. We've got headings that have come from our spreadsheet. We've got boxes around the elements of data that we're trying to capture. We've interpreted date and time formats. And I can scroll through, and if I wanted to change that Net Promoter Score to a 10, for instance, then I can key that in and hit the save button, and that's writing back to my spreadsheet. So in a matter of minutes, we've generated an application that can run on a mobile phone, updating data in a spreadsheet. So that saves us writing something down, going back to a desktop and keying something in. Super quick way to generate an application. I took that as a starting point, use that same kind of framework, and just to show you with very little effort and very little expertise, we can start to make it look a little bit more user-friendly, a little bit more professional, I hope. I can still scroll through my data. I can do the search and I can do the sort. I've put my tile shop image on the front, and for my user login, I'm not working on that one spreadsheet anymore. I've taken this off into a different data source. So this could be fed from the human resources module in Business Central, for instance. So we'll say that Ed is capturing this data, and now when I generate a new record, I'm not too worried about data validation at this point. We'll give Dave a postcode or a zip code, and he can simply be dave@gmail.com. For the purpose of the demo, this is fed from the HR system. I've taken real names and real images out, so forgive me, I replaced it with nicknames and some geeky little avatars. This is now a mutually exclusive selection box, because I really only want to know who primarily assisted my customers today, so we can give the credit to one person. So if we were driving commission out of this, for instance, onto my next screen, when I'm capturing project location and product range, I'm starting with a blank because I don't want my user to be able to take a default. I want them to put some effort into telling me whereabouts is the project. And if it's in the bathroom, I've got 3 different tile ranges that I could select, so Carrera, Minton and Shapes. However, if it's in the kitchen, I could be choosing linear, matrix, metro or mosaic. So I've now got codependent search criteria. So this is thinking about that workflow approach of if this, then that. If it's in the kitchen, then select the tile ranges which are applicable to the kitchen, not just everything. I want to narrow that selection down. So this could be getting fed from your items in Business Central. Codependent with workflow, with some search criteria. talking about data capture for a spreadsheet anymore. I showed you mutually exclusive checkboxes earlier on. This is the opposite. I can check as many on or off as I want to. So did we both calculate and recommend all of the accessories to the customer, and did they choose to buy from us? If the answer is no, and the customer comes back next week and says, hey, I'm so angry, I ran out of adhesive 2/3 of the way through the project, that ruined my weekend. Well, if we made a recommendation to you and we weren't accurate, then hey, that's our fault. How can we help you? But if we made a recommendation and you didn't buy from us, we've got a copy of the transaction. If you are an engineering company, for instance, totally different scenario. If you were thinking about, say, new product introduction, you might be going through a checking process of, have I got design sign-off for the latest release? Have I got engineering sign-off? Have I got certificates of conformity for the materials that I'm going to use? The process and how you use it will be entirely up to you, of course, whatever adds value to your business. On to my final customer satisfaction screen. I'm going to stick with my theme of awesome service. If you're running this on a mobile phone, just a great out-of-the-box feature. You'll see the microphone down here. You can hit the microphone, speak into the phone, and that will interpret as text and write it back. And for my Net Promoter Score, rather than keying in a number, how about a smiley face with a slider? So, a really quick gallop through some of the functions in Powerapps. I hope it's a useful introduction to you. I've tried to show you how quickly you can actually generate a useful application from a data source, how we can split those data sources off, how we can choose to format the process with codependent searches, mutually exclusive checkboxes, and add value with a mobile app that would previously have been a really expensive thing to do, employing developers to do it. So I hope that's useful. If it generates any questions, please reach out to us at Ingram Micro. We'd be delighted to have a conversation with you.
So what we're going to do now is move on. We're going to move clockwise around the circle. We're going to start looking at Power Automate. And we're going to start off with a little intro video as to what Power Automate is.
These days, there's a cloud service to do just about anything. Problem is, there's no good way to get your favorite apps to talk to each other, to connect them, and automate the tasks that are so time-consuming. Or is there? With Microsoft Power Automate, whether you start from a template or create your own multi-step flow across several apps, it's simple. Why constantly check email when you can get a text message whenever someone important emails you? Automating that means you can use that time to do other things. And Power Automate can really help get things connected. Say someone tweets about your company. Set up a flow that follows them, sends a nice reply, adds them to a spreadsheet that gets emailed to you for your approval, then adds their contact to Salesforce or Dynamics 365. You can also get and manage approvals using Power Automate on the web, your phone, or even right from your inbox. And this streamlined approval process works with data in SharePoint, Microsoft Dynamics 365, Twitter, MailChimp, and over 100 other services. And with the Power Automate app, you can monitor, manage, and create flows from anywhere. For tasks that need to happen now, like instantly blocking out the next hour in your calendar, we've designed flows that start with the tap of a button. How about that? That's technology talking together, working smarter, so you can work less and do more. These days, there's a cloud service to do.
Again, starting with just some helpful tips into actually helping you get started. You can simply create your account and log into Power Automate to begin your free trial. I am going to keep saying free trial throughout this because for all of these, you get a free trial, 30 days. It's definitely worth doing. And very quickly, you'll be able to create automated workflows between your favorite applications and services to synchronize files, get notifications, collect data, and so much more. And you've already seen how, utilizing data that you can get through, using Power Automate, you can build more effective apps in Powerapps. You start to see how they really do link up. They're better together. And, even using, for example, Dynamics 365 to harness that data. it's really powerful tools when you work together. There isn't just one type of flow, there are many different types. So for example, there's the automated flows. Create a flow that performs one or more tasks automatically after it's triggered by an event. There's button flows that run repetitive tasks from any place at any time via your mobile device. Scheduled flows create a flow that performs one or more tasks on a schedule. Business process flows, define a set of steps for people to follow to take them to a desired outcome. And UI flows, so currently in preview, record and automate the playback of manual steps of legacy software. So really, by enabling your customers to do more with Power Automate, they're going to be using an incredible low-code platform to speed up their business processes and achieve so much more. It really is just awesome value that can be added through Power Automate, really improve productivity all around the business, not just a single set of business processes, just anything. It's really going to speed things up, really going to simplify business processes, and it's really easy to use. Again, drag and drop, Excel, PowerPoint, hybrid. It's brilliant. It's easy to use, so it's definitely worth utilizing that 30-day free trial. I said I was going to keep saying it. And again, with most things in the Power Platform, you can create flows using pre-built templates to even speed up the process of creating a flow. Absolutely brilliant, that Microsoft are providing templates in pretty much everything when it comes to the Power Platform to make it even easier to adopt and use. Power Automate provides users with an easy-to-use view of your flow to ensure it's working correctly. Creating flows can ensure a business is doing tasks as efficient as possible and make sure you never miss an important email again. You can even create a flow, your first flow, for example, that you get a text when your boss emails you. Something as simple as that just to start it off. So really the big question is now, what are you waiting for? Get into Power Automate and really now and start speeding up your processes today. If you're doing that yourselves as tech providers, you're really drinking your own champagne, so to speak, when you're talking about this to your end customers. You can talk about how it's sped up processes for you as a business. And as I say, no code or low code as well. The value you can add to your end customers really is endless. And again, it's just a case of talking to your customers about their existing processes. What takes up time? What would they love to have? What is that wish list? They might not know that Power Automate exists. They might not know that it's the answer. But just in talking to them about their existing processes, you'll be able to spot that opportunity that there is with Power Automate to speed up what they're currently doing. And in return, they're going to love you for it and they're going to stay with you. I wanted to show another case study focused on Power Automate and the value it's adding to customers right now. Here we can see how an in-home medical care practice improved their service that they offer by using Power Automate. They started exactly how I've already mentioned. They looked at existing processes, what was taking too long, what processes were they doing that meant that their carers were actually spending more time on admin and tasks, meaningless tasks, and less time actually providing care to their customers, which is what they're all about. Then they thought about the dream outcomes. Well, like I say, it's that wish list and what they wanted to achieve. With the nursing service doing about 90,000 visits a year to around 3,000 home patients and over 600 hospice care patients, it was a lot of paperwork. They needed to complete that paperwork on everything that they did, incident reports, and then they actually had to take all the paperwork to the office and then head back out to the field, spending more time on paperwork and travel than helping patients, which is what they should be doing. And not only just spending time on it, but spending company money, paper, printing, travel fees, all those kind of things. And they're spending less time doing the caring, which is what they're all about. So, it really was impacting them as a business. And also, just with paperwork alone, it just leaves a lot of room for human error. So they were missing out things like carer name, meaning that someone wouldn't be informed of something important. So at this point, I will mention they didn't know what the answer was. They didn't even know Power Automate exists. They didn't know what they wanted to use. They just knew what they wanted to achieve. They knew what the problems were, and they had that wish list in mind. So in being exposed to Microsoft, including Microsoft 365, SharePoint, and Power Automate, they were able to automate all their workflows and standardize how its first line staff get notifications. Long gone are the days of mountains of paperwork. Using Microsoft 365 and Power Automate, the first line workers can now simply fill in a form created through Microsoft Forms, which is connected to SharePoint and Power Automate. And that's the process done, and it automatically notifies everyone who needs to know. Staff now easily save 20 minutes of paperwork time per admission, which has led to massive improvements in patient care and created better working environment for their 250 plus staff. They're now adding amazing value to their customers, even more so than before, because they're spending more time with their customers that they need to care for, more time than they are doing admin, that's for sure. An incredible story, I hope you can agree with that. And it really does show actually the power that us as tech providers have in adding this sort of value to customers. All you need to do is just find out more about your customer's business, their pain points. And personally speaking, I find it easy asking people to moan at me about something. The hardest part might be just getting them to stop. So in order to really do more for your customers, you need to speak to them. I've already mentioned it on the Powerapps slide. And again, this is a real key message of this kind of session, is all about speaking to your customers, really finding out what their problems are, and then we can help them. Okay, on to Power BI now, and we're going to start off with a little video just introducing you to the lovely world of Power BI.
When it comes to data, the faster you can turn this into this, the faster you can understand and use it all to make your business run better. With Microsoft Power BI, you can quickly connect to data, prep it, model and visualize as much or as little as you like, then securely share insights. Even embed it all into your app or website. To get started, download the free Power BI desktop application and hop right in. Soon you'll be connecting to hundreds of data sources on-premise or in the cloud, like Excel, Salesforce, Google Analytics, social networks, even IoT devices to get real-time information, and turning all that data into live interactive visuals. When you get the hang of that, upgrade to Pro. You'll need that to start collaborating freely, creating dashboards that deliver a 360-degree real-time view of your business, control how your data is accessed and used, and to package and deliver your stunning new content to users with apps of their own. The premium version is for really scaling up across larger enterprises and embedding content past your own digital properties without per-user licenses. And one more thing, want it all on mobile so you can react to changes on the fly? Here you go. With Power BI, we make it easy to always be in compliance too, for things like GDPR. Download the free Power BI application today and start turning your data into smarter decisions for your business.
Whether your data is a simple Microsoft Excel workbook or a collection of cloud-based and on-premise hybrid data warehouses, Power BI lets you easily connect to your data sources, visualize that data, and discover what's important, and share that with anyone or everyone that you want to. Power BI can be simple and fast, capable of creating quick insights from an Excel workbook or a local database. But Power BI is also robust and enterprise grade, ready not only for extensive modeling and real-time analytics, but also for custom development as well. Therefore, it can be your personal report and visualization tool, but can also serve as the analytics and decision engine behind group projects, divisions, or entire corporations. Using Power BI, you can easily import data into Power BI to build, publish, and share interactive dashboards that can be used on a computer or a mobile device, or even in Microsoft Teams, where you can view all of those dashboards right there in Teams, easy to share, easy to view, and better productivity. You can create visual reports, graphs, and build dashboards to show your data how you want it to show. It really is a great flexible approach that Power BI gives users. Organizations using Power BI are getting their data analyzed and fed back to them in a readable format so much faster, enabling for faster and smarter decision, enabling the business to grow and make better decisions for them. Power BI really is a really powerful tool. Again, the best way to understand what your customers currently do for reporting is just you need to ask. They could be using just Excel spreadsheets still, spending time building those reports in a long and complicated way. And that's me saying that. And I love Excel. Love using Excel, love building reports out of Excel. But I've been dragged into, new technology, and I absolutely love using Power BI. It really is a better way to actually get a better view of the data, better dashboards, better insights. It's brilliant. So I can't stress that enough. It really does speed things up and presents data in such a way that your customers will be able to really start making better decisions to really help drive their business forward, even in a period like this where we're coming out of a pandemic. Even being able to take data from Dynamics and present it in a way where you really do get that 360-degree view with great insight into your customer base, for example, or even your workforce to really get the best out of your employees. The possibilities with Power BI really are endless. Again, I just wanted to do another case study, and now we're going to focus on Power BI. And this time we have Walgreens, actually, so quite a big operation, and how Power BI has actually transformed them as a business. For me, Walgreens, I live in the UK, so for me, Walgreens really is where I go for supplies when I've forgotten things on holiday, like suntan lotion or bottled water or things like that. When I'm in Orlando, it's always cheaper to get it from Walgreens than spend money in the Disney parks, that's for sure. Anyway, on with the case study. You'll start to see a pattern here that Walgreens started by looking at what they were at the time and where they were at the time and the problems that they faced. So I've got them bullet points there. Over 9,000 stores across the US, over 240,000 employees across those stores, over 8 million customers every day, over 200 million item store combinations, and over 5,000 suppliers to coordinate the end-to-end supply chain with. So a massive operation. And with all that data that they could get, they wanted to do something with it and really create a better experience for customers. After all, there is a lot, 8 million customers every day. You want to make sure you're looking after them. So using Microsoft Azure and Power BI, not only are they saving about a third of the cost, they're also able to consume and analyze data about 3 times faster as well. Now, if customers are changing buying behaviors, they can action this so much faster and ensure that they have the right stock in the right stores to provide the best customer experience. They're now able to easily track their data and track buying trends going back even 2 years to ensure that they're managing inventory properly at all times of the year. That way, when I go for my bottled water when I'm in Orlando, they're definitely going to have it, as well as looking after the other 8 million customers they have every day. And I think the more impressive is the last bullet point there. In 3 months, Walgreens was able to migrate its entire on-premise data warehouse for inventory management into Azure Synapse. Data flows into cloud through Azure Express Route and into Azure Blob Storage. Users consume the data through a web app developed in-house, direct query to the database, or through visualization tools such as Microsoft Power BI. This capability is driving better decision making, and they were able to do that in 3 months with such a massive operation with all the data they had. It's amazing. The value we can add to end customers utilizing Power BI is brilliant, and I think it speaks for itself. And here we go, last but by no means least, we're going to talk about Power Virtual Agents, the newest member of the Power family. And again, we're going to start off with a little video just to introduce you to Power Virtual Agents.
By now, you've probably heard of virtual agents, those amazing little bots that have, well, virtually transformed customer service. But have you heard of Power Virtual Agents? They're new from Microsoft. And what makes them so powerful, you ask? Well, they're even easier to use for all kinds of things beyond just customer service. You can use them for HR, sales, any domain or channel imaginable. Virtually anywhere you want to engage customers. On the web, Skype, Facebook, Power Apps, you name it. You can build a Power Virtual Agent for that. They're super easy to build, too. Anyone can do it. There's no code to get started, no AI expertise needed, and you can be up and running in minutes. But if you want to add code, or say some more complex capabilities, Microsoft's Cognitive Services and Bot Framework is just a few clicks away, so you can go as deep as you like. And because they're already integrated with Microsoft's Power Platform, you can use hundreds of pre-built connectors, so your bot can talk to your back-end systems with just a few clicks, or easily add capabilities, like using Microsoft Power Automate to call an API. Lastly, they're powerfully smart, learning every day, and using AI to suggest new topics to build as users interact with it. So, ready to make your own Power Virtual Agent? Just head on over to aka.ms/trypva and try it, free, for a limited time, and unlock what's next.
Okay, so just like with the other solutions in the Power Platform, you can get started in seconds, no infrastructure to maintain or complex systems to deploy. And again, you can sign up for a free trial, 30-day free trial, and start building your bot and embed it into your website in no time. Free trial. I'm just going to say it again, just to make sure that's sunk in, that we have a free trial, or there is a free trial available across all of the Power Platforms. So definitely go start having a play. It's a very similar look and feel to that of Powerapps, and I can say easy and quick to use. I actually saw someone deliver a demo at an event earlier this year when we were actually allowed to go to events, and they built and demoed a full chatbot using no coding whatsoever in about 45 minutes. As you can see in the screenshot, the way in which that you set up your chatbot is very similar to like setting up a flow, connecting the dots. Drag, drop, what do you want it to do? Ask a question, what are the, based on the answers, maybe from a drop down, what's the scenario? Do you want it to book appointments? There's all sorts of really endless possibilities with this. And it's so simple to use. You can enable natural conversations between customer and bot easily using Microsoft's AI capabilities. You can simply provide the bot a few short examples of a topic you want the bot to handle, and your bot will be ready to handle customer queries. And then you can even test it out straight away, having a conversation, maybe doing an SMS chat. It really is brilliant the way in which you can set these up. As I say, quick, simple, drag drop functionality, really easy to use. Like, again, it's like that PowerPoint Excel hybrid, making it very easy to navigate and very easy to build what would be a complex bot, but really simply. Not only can you easily create a bot to have a conversation with customers, you can easily enable that bot to take action on what is being said during the conversation. You can, for example, enable the bot to book appointments, as I've already said, offer available times to customers, those kind of things. It's a great feature and something I've seen in action, where depending on the scenario and what the customer says, it will provide a response suitable for that type of conversation. This could be to go through to a live agent for a complicated query, or as I've said, it could be that the bot provides the customer with available slot times for an appointment. It could be that you are rescheduling an appointment, and again, rather than have to phone in, wait in a queue, just speak to the bot will do it for you. It's brilliant. It's going to free up a lot of time for customer service or sales agents. It really is going to be a powerful tool for those kind of things. So it means the customer can book an appointment easily and simply without even having to phone anyone. It's all done through the bot. For me, very powerful tool. I think it's a really brilliant new addition to the Power Platform, and definitely one that's worth speaking to customers about, 100%. And another great feature, as you would with any human customer service agent, you can even performance manage your bot. So using AI-driven dashboards, you can easily view what the bot is doing, what they're doing well, potentially what are customers not responding well to, really tracking that kind of conversation and how people are responding to the bot. Are they having negative responses? Are they swearing at the bot? Those kind of things. Understanding, is it getting a good response or not? So for example, if there is a common theme that the bot can't handle a certain query, then you'll be able to action this quickly using the AI-driven dashboards to know exactly what work needs doing to improve the bot's performance. This means you'll be able to continue to maximize the performance of the bot to suit changing customer needs as well. And again, if you think about changing customer needs, throughout this whole COVID-19 experience, I'm sure a lot of customer needs have changed. So the fact that you can make your bot adapt to those situations very quickly is really powerful. And again, I just wanted to share a real life case study, this time really focused on Power Virtual Agents and how using Power Virtual Agents has enabled TrueGreen to achieve so much more. So TrueGreen started the same way as all these case studies start, by looking at the business objectives and their existing pain points, and then they work backwards. So what did they want to achieve? They wanted to achieve self-service, so enabling customers to do business with TrueGreen on their own terms, when they want and how they want. Innovation, exploring and piloting emerging technologies such as IoT, bots, interactive voice response, and cloud services. They wanted to do more with their data, so becoming a data-driven business, including fact-based decision-making and better insights into customer sentiment as well. They wanted to digitize internally, so driving productivity and efficiency through fully digitized internal processes. They wanted to do more digital marketing, so reaching out and connecting with customers in innovative ways. TrueGreen have about 2.4 million customers, all of which requiring services and support for their gardens. And to show the power again of the term citizen developer, in just 2 days following initial training, TrueGreen were able to build their first chatbot using Power Virtual Agents. So it really highlights that no code, low code, easy to use experience. Really powerful stuff. So using Powerapps, Dynamics 365 Customer Insights, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents, and Azure AI, and machine learning, they've built something incredible. And I really like talking about this one as a sort of case study for how it kind of brings them all together. A bit of Dynamics, Azure, Power Platform, really power stuff. And they can now orchestrate the entire customer experience. So being able to schedule a service, reschedule that service, add a new service, add a payment, and even provide customers with tips on how to care for their garden. The customer has all this at their fingertips with the TrueGreen Power App. And with AI capabilities, I've mentioned with Azure Cognitive Services and Computer Vision built within the Power App, the customer could take a photo of something in their garden, upload it into the app, and within seconds receive information on what they've taken a photo of. Could be a bug, could be a weed in the garden they've never seen before. Amazing stuff that they can do, really can. So it is a truly great case study. I love talking about this one, and one that I just always have to include when I'm talking about Power Virtual Agents. It really shows that earlier statement of powerful alone but better together. It isn't a statement, it's a fact. Using these technologies, TrueGreen have been able to expand their offering, increase customer satisfaction, increase customer loyalty and retention, and grow their business. Now, hopefully, if I've done my job properly, you're a bit excited about the opportunity with the Power Platform and the value that you can add to your customers. And I'm hoping you've also learned something if you are new to the Power Platform, especially, and you're now thinking about how you can get started. So I'm going to take a few minutes just to show you what's available to help you get started with the Power Platform. First things first, I would definitely say contact Ingram Micro Cloud. We've got business application specialists all over the world. It's not just myself. We have more technical-led people. We've got more sales-led people. So it's definitely worth having a conversation with us through our Dynamics 365 Accelerate program. We cover off all kind of biz apps, including the Power Platform. So it's definitely worth having a conversation with us. We've got a load of content and collateral and a couple of bits I'm going to show later in a couple of extra slides to actually help you really get started. Make sure you're not missing anything. There's some great resources out there, and we want to make sure you got the best of those. So we kind of marry up, giving you the best of Ingram Micro Cloud and the best of Microsoft as well. Also, I mean, definitely Microsoft Learn. Power Platform Fundamentals is the perfect place to start. And it's not actually a long learning path either. When you compare it to, for example, Dynamics Fundamentals, which was about a 13-hour learning path, with no interruptions, the Power Platform one is under 3 hours. Really understanding the fundamentals a little bit better. You can actually do an examination in it as well. So you can pay, I think it's $99 and get certified in the Power Platform. So it's a real great way to start. Actually, when you go into the more specifics, there's 36 learning paths for the Power Apps. There's 14 for Power BI, 22 for Power Automate. And then with Power Virtual Agents being so new, those are coming. So again, it's definitely worth looking on Microsoft Learn. Simply search for Power and just see all the great content that comes up. Also, there's some really great YouTube channels as well. And I think I've already mentioned this during this webcast, but YouTube is brilliant for the Power Platform. Not just the Microsoft channels. There are Microsoft channels for each aspect of the Power Platform, but actually just everyday people building apps, deep diving in, maybe an hour, 2 hour sessions. There's also 10-minute sessions to quickly get those bite-sized chunks of data. If you start playing with it and you use your free trial and you're stuck on something, I guarantee Google or YouTube is going to have the answer. So definitely look at those different resources. And I did say I was going to mention it a few times during this session, so I'm going to say it one more time on this slide. Learn by doing, and go and get your free trial. 30-day free trial on each of these. Sign up, start using, start playing, see what you can build. It really is brilliant to see what people can do within those 30 days. For example, Ed Smith, our solutions architect, used his 30-day free trial, and I think after a day or two, he was demoing a Power App to me, and it was his first time really delving into Power Apps. And this was many months ago now. So really get stuck into it. And as well as having Power Apps the full Power Platform 30-day free trials, what there also is as well, and something that a lot of Microsoft partners aren't really aware of, is actually within your Office 365 or Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365 licensing, you also have access to Power Apps and Power Automate for free, as long as you're using it within the context of the applications that you're licensed on. So we mentioned before around, say, for example, Power Automate. If, for example, you wanted to get a notification every time a company is mentioned on Twitter, that's using a third-party application and data connectors and so on. So that wouldn't count. But there is capabilities of, speeding up processes, building apps within the applications that you're licensed on. So it's a great way to almost have, it's like a free trial, but it lasts longer than 30 days, obviously. And it's a great way as like an introduction into the Power Apps and Power Automate. Start off small and then go into some real great, more complex stuff. Now, as well as Microsoft Learn, there's some other resources as well that we've built here at Ingram Micro Cloud, utilizing the very best of Microsoft, but then also adding to that with everything that we've built as well. So I'm just going to do a couple of slides now just to show you some toolkits that we've created for our partners. So this is the Power Platform Toolkit. So many resources on here. It might look a bit overwhelming, but if you want to have a conversation about this and the next slide as well, feel free to get in touch with us. I'm more than happy to talk about this, talk about the different resources that are available. A couple to point out, already mentioned the fundamentals course. So for example, you can create demos, not just with your free trials. You can create demos. You can also see demo scenarios as well, watch videos, click-throughs on PowerPoint, things like that. So you can get a bit more hands-on without using your free trial to start with if you didn't want to. There's also Starter Kit Consultations. So over there on sort of top right, second one down, Starter Kit Consultations for Power Platform. You also have these for Dynamics 365. This is really powerful. If you're an Action Pack, Silver, or Gold Microsoft partner, you have what's called advisory hours or consultancy hours that you can access for free with your membership, and you can get consultations to get partner technical consultants from Microsoft to support you. So there really is some powerful resources out there. So, feel free to get in touch with me, and we can definitely support you through your Power Platform journey. And I did just want to point out, as we are on MS Dynamics World, we also have the Dynamics 365 toolkit. We also have a lot more resources when it comes to Dynamics as well. But I thought I'd just highlight the toolkit as it matches the previous slide. But we really have built a program in our Dynamics 365 Accelerate program and our Dynamics Angels program that is very unique. It's kind of a one-of-a-kind program, and we're enabling partners to do so much more with Dynamics, increase sales, increase cross-sell, increase upsell, really increase the value that they're adding to their customers. And we really do make sure that we've got the very best of everything to provide our partners. So again, if you're interested in these, feel free to get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to run through these. We've also got partner guides that we've created, like a one-stop shop for Dynamics 365, where we actually show, for example, what's the difference between Dynamics 365 and other competitor solutions, all in one place, in one document, keeping it simple and keeping it easy to use for our partners. So we've got a lot of content and a lot of collateral to support partners, so definitely get in touch. And that's everything from me today. Again, I really hope you've learned something. I really hope you're excited about the opportunity with the Power Platform. You can see my email address down there at the bottom, matthew.batterby@ingrammicro.com. Matthew spelled with one T. That is deliberate. I am Welsh, so that is the Welsh way of spelling Matthew. But yeah, feel free to get in touch with me. I'd love to talk to you more about this, even introduce you into our Power Platform solution architects if need be, and see what we can support you with. But yeah, I really hope you've learned something, really hope you found this useful, and get in touch. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you MS Dynamics World for allowing me to deliver this webcast. It's been great. Thank you.